Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Xenokiller from Clan Talk coming at you with a little bit of an explanation of what role-playing is in terms of Star Wars: The Old Republic. I'm here with Tigger, Tori, Andalos, and Russell, and they're going to walk me through what exactly role-playing is in terms of the modern MMORPG. So we got up to the part where you name your character. My character is going to be named, Sir Ticklesworth?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
Alrighty, so one of the key things about your role-playing, about your character, is you are trying to define what makes your character unique and different from all the other Jedi Knights out there. Because obviously in this structured game, we don't create our own quests, we don't create our own storyline, we don't create our own companions and dialogue. Everyone is going to be following the exact same BioWare selected story.
Right on.
So in essence, what you do is when you want to role play your character, is you're trying to create a set of circumstances and events in a backstory that are why your character is different, what your motivations are. You know, if you're a bounty hunter, how'd you become a bounty hunter? If you're a trooper, my favorite thing about the trooper, everyone's in Havoc Squadron. What did you do before you got into Havoc Squadron? I mean, that's a pretty big deal. They don't put rookies in it. Were you at a particular battle? Did you, are you a defeated, disgraced officer who's trying to earn his way back into good graces? It just fleshes out and adds depth to your character. One of the common things about that is, everyone has a family. Everyone has family stories. Usually real life family stories are far more interesting than what you see in movies, just because everyone has that eccentric aunt or uncle in their family. So one of the things you can do is kind of pick out and write down for yourself, keep notes and define what your family history is. If you're human, are you from Coruscant? Are you from Quat? Are you from Corellia? I mean, what planet are you from? That's every bit as important as in today's world. Are you from the United States? Are you from Canada? Are you from England?
Australia.
Australia, because your national heritage your planetary heritage in Star Wars would have significant impacts on your outlook, the same way that your national heritage actually has on your real world outlooks.
Gotcha. And so you create all of this in your head? Like, how does this actually interact with the game? Like, how does your role-playing backstory change how you play the game?
Well, what I personally like to do is I like to open up like a Google document or whatever, and write it down and kind of do like an outline of what I like, and then I try. And so an example is, my character, again, this is just off the top of my head. This isn't what I'm doing, but my character's father was killed in the original Sith Wars, and because of that, I have a very bitter opinion. And I'm very hostile to Sith. Therefore, in the game, I plan on any time I interact with the Empire, I'm going to take it as aggressive or as violent of a stance as I can. Even if I'm playing a light side character, I might intentionally choose dark side options because my character's motivation is he hates the Empire. He will do whatever is necessary to defeat the Empire.
Right on.
And so that's how you actually play it, and it comes out in your actual gameplay. Additionally, then, what's going to happen is you're going to run into other players. What did you say? Sir Ticklesworth, the Jedi Knight.
The Jedi Guardian.
Going to run into,
Right. My turn. Names again. Mr. Sugar Puff.
Okay.
So Mr. Ticklesworth meets Mr. Ticklesworth meets Miss Tickles Puffs.
No, Sugar Puff.
Okay. So, and Miss Sugar Puff is a female smuggler, and it's a player. It's another person with the account, maybe in tall, maybe not, and you get to striking up the conversation, and for fun, you decide that you want to keep your conversation in character, meaning you're only going to talk about stuff that your Star Wars character would know. Obviously he would have no knowledge of Earth politics, Earth history, Earth science, any of that stuff.
But
So
he
what do
really hate the Mandalorians or whatever.
Exactly. So like, your guy's going to be like, man, you're going to get in a conversation and the topic might come up about the Empire and you might be like, I'm trying to decide if I want to trust this person or not. What's your opinion of the Empire? And she goes, oh, I hate them. They impounded my starship and wrecked my shipping business. And you're like, well, they killed my father. And there you now have a fun kind of vein to role play off of. It's a fun way to get to know other characters in the game with how they see their character. Because everyone's grown up wanting to be a character from Star Wars. This lets you actually flesh them out. And as you're then playing the game and interacting with other players, you then are able to act out how you would react to it.
Okay, and so I know there's specific role-playing servers. So what would be the difference, let's say, role-playing on a PvP server and role-playing on a role-playing server?
Well, my opinion is there is no difference because they've actually stated that there's not going to be specific rule enforcement on role-playing servers. But enough of us here in TAW have expressed interest in doing some role playing. Specifically, I know Hook's never done it, and he says he's wanting to give it a try. But Bones, Bones is actually very interested in doing it, and he actually wants to. I think at one point he was talking about wanting to put together like a cantina night where he's like the bartender.
That would make good videos.
Tells jokes and stories. Yeah, and that's the other thing. It makes fantastic YouTube videos. These RP events.
Yeah, and good mission videos in general.
And so, my opinion, the best thing about role playing on a PvP server is if we are able to go through and get everything played out the way we hope, and we have Empire and Sith TAW on the same server, you can work with other people outside of the game. Like Beck. Beck likes PvP. He's maybe not necessarily a big roleplay guy, but I'd be willing to bet you could talk him into doing some PvP role playing in the sense of he's playing a bounty hunter, and maybe the backstory ends up being that you work out, out a game, you work it out with him that maybe he collected a bounty and killed your uncle.
Or I'm the bounty and I'm helping him get the bounty and I double cross him and stuff like that.
Exactly. And so what being on a PvP server lets us do is you and him decide, you know what, hey, we want to go ahead and do this PvP role-playing event. So I'm going to go out and we're both going to end up being on Hoth. And the thing that we're going to do for the hour that we're going to do the roleplay is we have a set area that we're going to be. He's the bounty hunter. He's trying to track me down to collect the bounty on my head. And then I'm going to try and fight him off and see who wins. And if he ends up defeating you, the way your story would go is that he captured you and collected the bounty. And then you get it then, and then a fun thing you can do is then put up on the forums the next day, be like, when you came to after being knocked unconscious by the bounty hunter, you woke up in an Imperial prison. And then, you have a fun opportunity to, on the forums, then put your tale of how you escaped. And so it's really nice because it creates a good way of, for people who are very creative in terms of like writing and authors.
Gotcha.
Excellent outlook for all that.
And so this takes place, obviously, just not in Star Wars, but in a lot of other role-playing games, or MMOs?
Yes.
Yep.
Huh. Yeah, because as I said, I haven't played too many MMOs.
I would go as far to say as it's not... you could role-play World of Tanks. I don't think it would be as good.
Sergey, you killed my driver! I'll get revenge!
But yeah, literally. Think of all the World War II tank stories that we've ever heard of. My grandpa drove an M4 Sherman in Germany. And so when I drive my M4, maybe I'm taking on the role of my grandfather as a tank driver, and
Papa, I'll avenge you.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. And so that's like the really fun thing is because when you really kind of get into it and immerse yourself, eventually you start it actually starts to matter why you're sparing this guy's life.
Terminex checking in.
Hey man.
Howdy.
Or why you're choosing to kill this Sith. And it actually makes it so much more impactful on why your characters are making the decisions and the choices. And so that's the real fun behind role playing. Is because instead of just picking dark side points for the sake of getting dark side rank 4, so you can use the lightsaber. It adds just that little bit more oomph and convincibility to why you are so evil.
Huh. I like it.
So does that kind of cover with what you're answering? And that's why I couldn't explain to you what role playing was during the spin up meeting.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, as I said, I haven't played too many MMORPGs sort of in the AAA category. You know, I mentioned I played Fly for fun, which I don't really think even counts as a game.
It does.
All right, I stopped playing at the crap like version 7. So whatever number they're up to. But yeah, I mean, I haven't played. I've seen some role-playing videos, like they did it in Half-Life 2, where, you know, people had houses and went to stores and bought
Gary's
things.
modern stuff is a very, very big area to roleplay in, because you can actually make the world you want inside of it. Same with like Second Life and stuff like that.
And it creeped me right the blank out. I'll just be honest with you.
Yeah. So anyway, Zeno, I know you're recording it. My one condition is you cannot use this as incriminating evidence at any sort of court hearing or trial in regards to me.
What?
You're a nerd!
In anyone.
I'm out of order. You're out of order. This entire courtroom is out of order.
Technically, by law, they can video you, but they cannot record your voice unless they ask you for permission first. He did not ask us for permission.
Hey,
He
Indiana,
asked me for permission.
for the record,
He asked me for one as well.
for the record, the state I live in is a one-party state. I don't need your permission.
Unless you're a cop and you're actually doing a sting on us, you cannot legally record what we say.
Basically, the way wiretapping works in phone conversations, some states are two-party states in which both people need to know whether or not they're recording, but certain states, like the one I live in, is a one-party state where only one person on the line needs to know it's being recorded.
But you do need a warrant, a wiretapping warrant.
Yeah. No, you only need a wiretapping warrant if neither person knows they're being.
Hey, real quick, guys, hold on for a second. Hey, Tigger, I don't know why, but every time you talk that someone else is also talking or someone tries to talk over you, it echoes.
I don't know why.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to stop recording now just to make everybody happy.
All right.
All right. Zeneco signing off.